day 2 sessions. So our second session is delivered by Dr. Ketan Jagtap sir. He is a senior lecturer at Government Polytechnic Nasik and having a 13-year of experience, out of which 10 years of teaching experience and 3 years of industrial experience. He has done specialization in manufacturing engineering. Sir has published 14 papers in various reputed referral journals and work as reviewer for international journal and conference. So I will welcome Dr. Ketan Jagtap sir, and I will hand over this session to Jagtap sir. Please proceed your session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Rokar sir. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I will start the session. Let me share my screen. Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I think the theme of this FDP is chosen as industrial automation. That is a very good topic for participant, and recent days it is having a boom in industry as well as in academic section also. So it is having a more impact on technological developments, that is industrial automation. So before delivering the session, organizer has asked me that which topic you want to deliver. So basically I have chosen this computer integrated manufacturing topic, especially for this industrial automation FDP. So that is a very good topic, and mostly all of the industries are working, especially in this era, that is industry 4.0. So this is very good topic. I hope the participant will get a lot of knowledge from this session also. So first of all, namaskar to all of you. First of all, I want to say thanks, Honorable Principal of Guru Gobind Singh Polytechnic, Head of Department Professor Dhagate sir, Coordinator Professor Holkar sir, who has given me a chance to deliver my talk in this FDP. So regarding outline of my presentation, we'll discuss the introduction about computer integrated manufacturing. Then we'll see the different types of production and manufacturing systems. Then automated manufacturing system. Then some of the automation principles and what are the strategies of that automation principle we'll see in next slides. Then group technology, which is very important tool in computer integrated manufacturing. Later on, we'll see the computer-aided process planning. Then we'll see flexible manufacturing system. And at last, we'll see computers in manufacturing industry, current scenario, that is industry 4.0, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, digital manufacturing, and smart manufacturing. So we'll start with SIM. I think you all have heard of this SIM topic before this lecture. That is basically digital manufacturing came or started in early 1970s. It has been written by Dr. Joseph Harrington's book with the chapter named as entitled as Computer Integrated Manufacturing. So it was not until 1984 when computer integrated manufacturing began to develop, promoted by many machine tool manufacturers, and the Computer Automated System Association in the overall world, the Society of Manufacturing Engineers, all have adopted this computer integrated manufacturing for the further developments. So basically, all of you know that computer is a machine that can be instructed to carry out sequence of arithmetic as well as logical operations automatically via computer programming. So whatever we are going to program, all the machines integrated with computers or behave or carry out the further operation with the help of the computer programs. Okay, so these programs enable computers to perform extremely wide range of tasks. In many fields, computers can be used in our educational sector. Now we are also going through this online session with the help of the computers, mobile phones, and all that things. Some entertainment purpose computers may use. In medical field, that is very important field nowadays, that surgeries may operated from out of our India, and the patient can be operated in India, and the doctors may operate their surgeries from outside of India. So that is the beauty of this industry 4.0 technique. Also cloud manufacturing are there. We'll discuss in later slides. Most of the industries are working with the help of computers. So basically, what is the definition of manufacturing? Basically, definition is nothing but the converting raw materials into the finished goods or the final product, and that meets the customer expectations or specifications. So that is the basic definition of manufacturing, and it is nothing but the value adding process allowing business to sell finished products at premium over the value of the raw materials. So in manufacturing cycle, all these sub functions are integrated. That is delivery, support, research and development, analysis, design, prototype, planning, and testing. And all these sub functions are integrated with the major functions of a particular industry, that is logistic, development, baseline system, and production. So there are too many functions are there in a particular manufacturing industry. Not only these functions are there, lot of functions are there, major functions are there nowadays with having an industry. So basically the definition of the SIM is nothing but it is the manufacturing approach with the help of computers to control the production process. So in the manufacturing process, we are using computers for controlling the overall manufacturing or production process. That is nothing but the SIM approach. This integration allows individual process to exchange information with each other and initiate action. So whatever information is shared by these computers and machine, and these will be integrated and the production will be carried out. So this is the basic definition of SIM, and the SIM makes the use of computer controlled machineries and automation systems in manufacturing variety of products. Lot of varieties are there. Many industries are working with this tool, that is SIM. SIM combines various technologies, that is computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, to provide the error-free manufacturing process. That we call it as a zero-error manufacturing processes that reduces manual labor and automates repetitive tasks. So that is very important advantage of the SIM. So basically, the SIM is nothing but the method of manufacturing and the name of a computer automated system that we are going to deal with the automation system, in which individual engineering, production, marketing, and support function of a manufacturing enterprise are outside. We are not talking about only the shop floor functions. We are also deals with the other functions. So those are related to shop floor, such as the purchasing, also then quality control, then delivery section. These all the functions from bottom to top, all the functions will be integrated with this SIM. So in SIM system, basically functional areas as that we already discussed: design, analysis, planning, purchasing, cost accounting, inventory control, distribution, all are linked together with the computer with factory floor functions such as material handling and management, providing direct control and monitoring of all the operations. So all the functions are going to be covered in this SIM. So in this figure, you can see this is the computer network system is basically deals with the database manufacturing system. So whatever data is generated, it may be a lot of data is there. It is related to basic functions also, shop floor functions also, supporting functions also, and it may be stored in a particular server. It may be stored in a particular memory. It may be stored in maybe a cloud also. So that is the simple beauty of this SIM, and all the supporting functions, that is CAD, computer aided process planning, CAM, and all these functions are integrated. That is, some constraints are there, we have to control it, that is quality, time, and cost, which is very important to any manufacturing industry. In that, we have to look with the computer aided quality control also, automatic storage and retrieval system, that in that we can use the different robots and different material handling equipments are there. Then manufacturing enterprise information, that you can use different softwares for material planning also. Then computer aided production planning. For planning purpose, you can use also different types of softwares. This is the picture of a SIM wheel. All these functions, all these departments are integrated to a particular single system, and all these are integrated in a particular single cell. You can call it a, this is the SIM circle. And the SIM circle uses the common data from all these departments or all these functions, that is materials, scheduling, quality planning and facility monitoring, then documentation. Documenters are deals with the lot of things are there in documentation. Production related documents, quality related documents, other administration related documents, analysis and verification, robotics, material processing, inspection, assembly, and all the functions are integrated with factory information, then production process, then manufacturing, planning and control, and all these deals with the major functions or major objectives of any organization, that is finance, related to finance, manufacturing, management, marketing, strategic planning. So this is the big broad concept of a SIM wheel. So all the functions may get covered in the SIM wheel. And what are the process included in SIM? That is, we have already discussed it, that is computer aided design. Different types of softwares or different softwares are used for product design purpose. Then prototype manufacture. Nowadays, 3D printing plays a very important role in this prototype manufacture. So it is the important pillar, or it is a supportive pillar for the nowadays for Industry 4.0 and the SIM. Basically determining the efficient method for manufacturing by calculating the overall cost, by considering the production method, volume of products, storage and distribution. So ordering of necessary materials needed for these all the manufacturing processes. So you have to quantify the whatever orders are there, then you can go for manufacture for it. Then computer aided manufacturing of the products with the help of computer numerical controls. You can use different types of CNC machines, DNC machines for carrying out the production activities. Then quality controls at each phase of the development, that is possible with the help of SIM. Product assembly with the help of robot also, that is manless industry. Quality check and automated storage systems are there. Automatic distribution of products from the storage areas to awaiting lorries and trucks. Automatic updating of logs, financial data and pages in the computer system with the help of different ERP types of software. So all these functions are going to be carried out with the help of SIM. So why SIM is necessary in industry? Basically, its aim is that the error reduction. Wherever the operators are going to deal with the machines, so always there is some possibility of errors in their activities. So if you are using the machines and if you are using the robotic system, automation system, then there that elimination of human error in many assignment and reporting functions. Anybody want to speak something, or can I continue?
Continue, sir, please.
Okay, fine, yeah. Reporting functions related to factory floor operation drastically reduce the error rate. So basic aim is the error reduction. Then the speed. SIM environments reduce the time it takes to perform manufacturing, fabrication, and assembly, allowing quicker flow of product to customers and increase capacity. Definitely, speed may get increased with the help of these all the automation techniques with the help of SIM. Then flexibility, that is the most important parameter. All the systems, those are going to be run on base of the SIM. They all are flexible. You can use the machines for another product, for manufacturing of another product also. or you can use number of machine for manufacturing, number of production. So that type of flexibility is available in the SIM approach. The integration that we have already covered, that is SIM offers a degree of integration that enables the flexibility, speed, and error reduction required to compete and lead markets. You can integrate this system with any function, that is integrating factory floor operations with enterprise software enables employee to do higher value functions for their companies. So each and everyone is involved in this SIM approach from, that is, we can call it from bottom level of management to top level of management. So that is the beauty of the SIM again. So what are the subsystems used in SIM? Basically, three categories are there. Some computer-aided techniques are there. Some devices and equipments are there, and the technology base is there. So basically, the computer-aided techniques are nothing but computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing. You can use a number of softwares in that. Then computer-aided process planning, then computer-aided quality assurance, production planning and control, enterprise resource planning. And regarding devices and equipments, you can use CNC, DNC machine, PLCs, robots, computers, softwares, controllers, networking, monitoring equipment. And regarding the technologies, these are the sub-tools of the SIM, that is nothing but the flexible manufacturing system, automated storage and retrieval system for materials or products, automated guided vehicles, AGVs, then robotics, automated conveyance system. So these are the subsystems of the SIM. If you are considering the simple production system, then that simple production system is having some facilities as well as manufacturing support systems. So regarding the facilities, some manufacturing systems are there, and it also includes the factory layout and the plant layout constraints in that particular facilities, because how our product is going to run or it is having a flow in a factory, that is also an important parameter. And regarding the manufacturing systems, product design is there, manufacturing planning, manufacturing controls, and some other business functions are. So that is the basic production system. And the sequence of information processing activities, particularly in a manufacturing firm, is nothing that factory or the owner got some order from the customer, then some business functions are there, some analysis is there, then they are working on a product design, how to design that product. Then they are going to work on the manufacturing planning, also with manufacturing control. For this carrying out these activities, they are using some factory operations, and the final product is going to be manufactured, and that will be distributed to the customer. So this is the basic sequence of information processing activities, particularly in a manufacturing. So what are the production system facilities? These facilities include the factory, production machines, different toolings, material handling equipments, inspection equipments, computer systems that control the overall these manufacturing operations. So it is a combination of all these, whatever you can consider, all these parameters. So plant layout also plays the important role in this area. So manufacturing systems, logical grouping of equipment and workers in the factory, that we'll see in the next slides in group technology. Production line, standalone workstation, and orders with different types of machines. So these are the production system facilities available in the manufacturing firm. So regarding manufacturing systems, we have already seen the production system. Now we are going to discuss the manufacturing system. So basically there are three categories: manual work system, worker machine system, and automated system. So in manual work system, worker performing one or more tasks without the aid of power tools. And sometimes the worker is going to use some hand tools such as hammer and all that things. And in next type, that is in worker machine system, worker operating powered equipments. So maybe hydraulically powered equipments or pneumatically powered equipments. Suppose if worker want to do the fitment of an engine cover, then he or she is going to use that what we can say that pneumatically operated power tool for fitment of the screws. So that is the worker machine system. Next one is the automated system, a process performed by a machine without direct participation of a human, that we are going to carry out the operation with the help of robots and all that things. Regarding the manufacturing support system, it is having a sequence of activities and it is having the basic 4 functions. The first one is business functions. All these business functions are related to sales and marketing, order entry, cost accounting, customer billing. So all these activities are covered in business function. Regarding the product design, we are familiar with research and development activities, design engineering, prototype shop. Regarding manufacturing planning, process planning is there, production planning, material resource planning, and capacity planning related with the machines and the manpower. Then the last one is the manufacturing control. Then in manufacturing control, the shop floor control is there, inventory control, and quality control. So all these activities are covered in these 4 types of function, that is business, product design, manufacturing planning, and manufacturing control. So this is regarding the manufacturing support systems. Now next is the automation in production system. So basically 2 categories are there of automation in the production system. First one is the automation of manufacturing system in the factory. And second one is the computerization of manufacturing support system. So how you are going to computerize that automation or manufacturing systems? Okay. So these 2 categories are overlapping to each other. So why it happening? Because manufacturing support systems are connected to the single factory or number of factories for performing all the manufacturing operation, and it is nothing but the computer integrated manufacturing. So that is the basic approach for the computer integrated manufacturing. So in previous slide we have seen the production system. In this slide, this is the same approach towards the production system, whatever available in the manufacturing industry. So all these facilities and manufacturing support system functions, that is manufacturing system, factory and plant layout, are deals with or to be integrated with automation. Then product design, manufacturing planning, manufacturing control, business functions are to be integrated with computerization. So this overall system is nothing but the computer integrated manufacturing system in a particular manufacturing firm. So suppose I were to go with the same approach in my manufacturing firm, then what is necessary that I have to go with some automation techniques with some computerization, that is with the help of some softwares and other things. So that is the basic need for if you want to go towards the SIM approach. We all are familiar with the automated manufacturing system, that is it again depend on the production quantity and product variety. 3 types are there, that is fixed automation, flexible automation, and programmable automation. So in fixed automation, manufacturing system in which the sequence of processing or assembly operation is fixed by the equipment configuration. If your product is has means got order of a very huge quantity, then you can go with the fixed automation technique, because it is suited to higher production quantities. High initial investment cost is there for custom engineered equipment. It is having a very high production rate, relatively inflexible. You cannot go for flexibility in such type of automation system, because all the machines and the product is fixed in this category. Then flexible automation, this is the extension of programmable automation in which the system is capable of changing over one job to the next with no loss of time between the jobs. So that is the beauty of flexible automation. And the typical features of this flexible automation is nothing but high investment for custom engineered system, continuous production of variable mixes of products. It is having not too much production rate, that is, it is having a medium production rate, because it deals with number of different components. So flexibility to deal with sub product variety, that is the features of this flexible automation. The next one is the programmable automation. So it is the manufacturing system basically designed with the capability to change the sequence of operations to accommodate different product configuration. So if you want to update the product configuration, then you can go with the programmable automation, because the products will be easily manufactured with the help of programmable automation. Then it is having also high investment cost, then lower production rate than fixed automation. Flexibility is there to deal with the variations and changes in product configuration. and it is most suitable for batch production system, programmable automation. Physical setup, part program must be changed between jobs and batches as per the requirement is there. You can do the programs, whatever the component is there. So why there is a reasons for automating? These are the basic reasons, that is increase labor productivity, and these are the common reasons that each and every manufacturing organization is looking for. Reduce labor costs, mitigate the efforts of labor shortages. This problem occurs sometimes whatever the area of factory, whatever the location of factory. So sometimes they need automation also. Reduce or remove routine manual and clerical tasks, improve worker safety, improve product quality, reduce manufacturing lead time, accomplish what cannot be done manually, then avoid the high cost of not automating. So these are the basic reasons for automating. Then there are the principles are the automation principle and strategies. First one is the USA principle. It is not going to like that United States of America. We'll see in next slide. Next one is 10 strategies for automation and process improvement, and the automation migration strategy. So we'll see one by one. The USA principle is that U for understanding the existing process, S for simplify the process, and A for automate the process. So this is the USA principle of automation. First one is understand the existing process. So whatever process is there, existing process, first you have to understand it. How you are going with the automation for that particular process. Before that, you have to study that process very well. Input and output analysis, that is very important parameter. Value chain analysis, it is again important parameter. Charting techniques and mathematical modelings can be used for the understanding purpose whenever you are going with any process for the automation. So this is a good research area for the researcher also. Simplify the process, reduce unnecessary steps, and basically it deals with the ergonomical concept also. You can deal the ergonomic, you can consider ergonomic considerations here whenever you are going to simplify the process for automation. Then automate the process. Next step. 10 strategies are there for automation and production systems. That is automation migration strategy. And these 10 strategies are the specialization of operation. Which type of operation you want to automate it? That is important, and that is you have to deal with, or you have to categorize that operations whenever you are going with the automation. Combined operations are there. Suppose you want to combine some operations, then you can also study that combined operation. Simultaneous operations are there, integration of operations, increased flexibility, material handling and storage system also there. How you are going to use it properly and perfectly without wasting the material. That is the basic aim. Whenever you are going to use any material handling system. Online inspection is there. You can use some inspection robot in this area also. Process control and optimization. Again, that is deals with the research area. How you are going to control the process, how you are going to optimize it. Then plant operation control, overall plant, how you are going to control the overall operation. Those are included in the particular manufacturing plant. Then last one is our computer integrated management. How you are going to deal your machine with computers and automation strategy. That is the basic study when you are going for the automation. Then automation mitigation strategy, basically in the 3 phases. Phase 1 is manual production. That is single station man cells working independently. Simple stations are there. It may be a manual assembly stations also. Its advantage is quick to set up and low cost tooling. In that particular station, you can use some stamping features, and that simple type of operation should be there. And it is having very low cost tooling. In phase 2, automated production. That is single station automated cell operating independently. So as DIM grows and automation can be justified. Next phase is nothing but automated integrated production. So in this system, you can use multi-station system with serial operations and automated transfer of work units between the stations. So this is the advanced version of this automation integration strategy, phase 3. So again, there are different levels of automation. First one is device level automation. This is the basic and simple automation. I think you all are the teaching faculties like us. So we are using this type of device level automation in our laboratories, basically in our fluid laboratory, mechatronics laboratory. In this device level automation, you can use actuators, sensors, other hardware components to form individual control loops for the next level. Machine level automation, in which we are going to use CNC machine tools and similar production equipments. Sometimes we can use industrial robots, material handling equipment, automatic material handling equipment. You can use here AGVs also. Cell and system level automation that is related with the manufacturing cell or system. Plant level automation, factory or production system level, whatever the production systems are available in factory. If you want to go for the automation, so that is nothing but the plant level automation. And enterprise level automation, that is the very you can consider top degree of automation, that is corporate information system. If you are using automation in enterprise level, means it is related to corporate information system for gathering and collection of data, analysis of data at an enterprise level overall. That we are going to consider if Tata Motors is having a plant at Chakan, then Pantnagar and all that things. Suppose they are using the automation on their corporate information system, so that is nothing but the enterprise level automation. So the next important tool of SIM is nothing but the group technology. So GT is a manufacturing philosophy in which similar parts are identified and grouped together to take their advantage of their similarities in design as well as in production. Suppose if any manufacturing firm is going to manufacture the piston rod, so if sometimes it may be similar in nature for two different vehicles, it may have some common machining processes are there. So sometimes that manufacturing firm is going to use this group technology. So GT contributes to the integration of CAD also and CAM also, from design as well as with manufacturing. So similarities among parts permit them to be classified into part families. Then part family is a broader concept is there. So in each part family, processing steps are similar. I am repeating the word that processing steps are similar. So again, the improvement is typically achieved by organizing these all production facilities into the particular manufacturing cell, whatever we have designed and integrated with the SIM, and that specialize in production of a certain part families. That means particular type of manufacturing firm is going to take or is taken the advantage of similarities of parts for manufacturing. So that is the beauty of this group technology, and it is deals with all the sectors. Means if you are going to consider that is resource planning activity, then sales is there, inventory planning, purchasing, assembly management, manufacturing engineering, shipping and receiving also. Then other functions are design, data processing, maintenance, tool engineering, estimating, industrial relations, quality control, R&D, and cost and control. So these are all the sectors where we can use the group technology. These are the benefits of group technology in manufacturing. That is improvement in quality and reduction in scrap, resulting in increase in production, because we are clubbing some of the operations of two dissimilar parts, and they can be clubbed in a part family. Improved utilization of machine, as a result, reduced number of machines are required if you are carrying out common operations for two different group technology components. This increases the floor space, or you can save the maximum floor space by using this concept. Increase in output per employee, and hence increase in productivity. Manufacturing lead time is automatically reduced. Its improved ability to respond market changes. It will react with that manufacturing system also if market change is there, and that reaction will be quick. So the increase in job satisfaction, greater management, worker harmony. So these are the good benefits of group technology in manufacturing. These are the basic actions of group technology, that is part simplification, then process standardization and production control. So for part simplification, there is a changes needed for the production for group technology. That is tighter parts control regarding the dimension and other things. Close physical layout of machine tools. You have to identify the machines for carrying out the operations. In ordering tied to the production, it should be very strict. Now, what is meant by part family? It is a collection of parts that possess similarities in geometric shape as well as in size or in the processing steps used in their manufacture. So some similarities are there, then that is the part of means you can get or you can combine in a part family. Part families are a central feature of this group technology. That is the basic thing, and there are always difference among the parts in the families. So, like as our fingers, not in a same dimensions and fingers. So such that if they, but their function is the same. So, but the similarities are close enough that the parts can be grouped in the same family. So, why to identify the part families? So, basically, visual inspection is there, using best judgment to group parts into appropriate families based on parts or photos of the parts. Parts classification and coding is there. Identifying similarities, differences among parts, relating them by means of coding scheme. Some manufacturing firm are going to adopt some coding schemes are there. We will discuss some coding scheme in further slides. Production flow analysis, then using information contained on root sheets of a particular product to classify the parts. So the features of parts classification and coding system. So in this section, the most classification and coding system based on the part design attributes, then part manufacturing attributes, and both design and manufacturing attributes. So this is the basic thing when you are going with the group technology. And what are the part design attributes? That is related with the major dimensions, then basic external and internal shape, aspect ratio, that is length to diameter, material type, part function, tolerances, surface finish. And regarding the manufacturing attributes, major processes are there: operation sequence, batch size, annual production, machine tools, cutting tools, material type. All these points to be covered in a part manufacturing attribute. And the types of coding systems are there, that is hierarchical or monocode, that is similar to design tree of manufacturing, used in a design department basically. Attribute or polycode system, retrieval is easy in this system and it is used in particular manufacturing departments. And third one is hybrid or mixed coding system. So the three major structures, that is monocode or hierarchical structure, and in which in monocode, in which each digit amplifies the information given in the previous digit. So basically it's difficult to contract, and most design departments are going to use this coding system. It provides a deep analysis definitely, and usually for permanent information. Means you should know the whatever information provided in a previous digit if you want to go with the monocode structure. Then the polycode or chain type structure, it is having an each digit is independent of all others, and it presents information not dependent on previous. Means each digit is having its information, easier to accommodate chain. Mixed code system has some digits forming monocodes, but string them together in the general arrangement of a polycode. So this is the advanced Optis coding system, and it is having a 9-digit code in which the first 5 codes are the form codes and last 4 codes are the supplementary code. So in digit 1 are deals with the part classes, digit 2 is related with the main shape, digit 3 is nothing but the rotational machine, digit 4 is the plane surface machining, digit 5 is the additional whole and digit 6 is the related to the dimension, 7 is for materials, 8 is for original shape of raw material, and 9 is for accuracy. This is a 9-digit code system that is nothing but the Optis coding system. Next one is the MICLAS coding system. It is developed by the Metal Institute. Classification was developed by the Organization for Applied Scientific Research in Netherlands in 1960s and 70s. The various functions of this coding system basically developed for standardized engineering drawings, then retrieve drawings based on classification, standardized process planning, automate process planning, selected parts to be processed, and a group of a particular machine code. This is the class coding system. So it is having a means you can go up to 30 digits. So while the first 12 digits are standardized, and it is nothing but the related with the 1 to 4 is basic form, 5 to 8 is the primary dimension, 9 to 10 is for tolerances, 11 to 12 for materials, and later on lot size, then secondary dimensions, general manufacturing operation, supplementary design and manufacturing operations, and so on. So these systems is, and so you can say not applicable in small firms. So basically, limitations of group technology are the cost of implementation is generally high, because sometimes there is no expert in house, particularly in industry. You can hire the expert from third-party agency. So definitely, it may take a big cost. May not be suitable for a factory with very large variety of products. Then entire production of the company cannot be put under the group technology. Therefore, will have to coexist with conventional layout. There are too many GT codes in use, and there is no one GT code that suits all applications. So number of codes are there. So there may be a confusion while you are operating the codes. So it is often difficult to conceive all the operation for a group of components being taken care of in the cell created for it. Particularly if you are going to create a particular cell, manufacturing cell for a particular component, then it may be impossible to use the GT also. Now, next part is the computer-aided process planning. So basically, the name indicates its meaning that we are going to use computers for process planning and determining the most appropriate manufacturing process and the sequence in which they should perform to produce a given part or a product specified by design engine. Traditionally, this process planning can be carried out with some of the experienced worker. Those are familiar with the processes, and they are going to do this planning based on their knowledge. Okay, so that is, they are using their knowledge, skills, and experience for planning the processing steps in the most logical sequence required to make the particular part. So it may this was happen in previous stages. Now these are the basic steps in process planning. You have to set the goals for particular process, then gather the data by its previous results, then analyze that data, then create plan, then after creating the plan, then implement the plan on a shop floor, then monitor that plan. If some discrepancies are there, then correct it. Then this is the cycle, that is the steps in process planning. Now, but from last several decades, there has been considerable interest in automating the process planning function also with the help of computer. So, a lot of softwares are available in this computer-aided process planning. Shop people knowledge able in manufacturing process are gradually retiring. So there is no need for planning purpose for particularly any experienced people. Means you can use the software and you can do a better planning. So an alternative approach to process planning is needed, and computer-aided process planning provides its alternative. So manufacturers have been pursuing an evolutionary path to improve and computerize process planning in the 5 stages. Basically, stage 1 is nothing but the manual classification, standardized process plans. Whatever each component is having process plan in a manufacturing industry. Initial stage is that you have to standardize that process plan. Make that processes are standardized. So whatever quality plans are there for that particular manufacturing process, then standardize it. Then stage 2 is the computer maintained process plans. Then go with the computer maintained process plans. Stage 3rd is variant computer-aided process planning. Then in fourth stage, that is generative computer aided process planning. Stage 5, that is dynamic generative computer aided process planning. So these are the 5 stages in computer aided process planning. So previous process planning manually carried out, that is manual planning. Then computers are used for planning purpose, that is there are 3 different methods are there: variant method, hybrid method, and generation method. So the next tool is the flexible manufacturing system. It is again one of the important tool of the computer integrated manufacturing. So basically, where to apply this FMS system? Basically, the plant presently either produces parts in a batches or uses manned group technology cells, and management wants to automate the cells. If a particular manufacturing company is using the manned group technology cells, then you can go with the flexible manufacturing system. It must be possible to group a portion of the parts made in the plant into the part family. So part family is necessary whenever you are going with the flexible manufacturing system, because it may be flexible. You can use that particular manufacturing system for a number of parts. The part families allows them to be processed on the FMS workstations. So and you can say that a single workstation may be used for number of parts also. That is the flexibility. So parts and products are in the mid-volume, mid-variety production range. So basically highly automated group technology machine cell, and it is consisting of a group of processing station. Basically in that processing station, CNC machines are there, robotic arms are there, and these are interconnected by automated material handling system and storage system controlled by central integrated computer system. So the FMS relies on the principle of group technology, that is no manufacturing system can produce an unlimited range of products, and FMS is capable of producing a single part family or a limited range of part family. So we'll check here the flexibility test in our automated manufacturing system. If you want to go with the FMS system in a factory, to qualify the being flexible, the manufacturing system should satisfy the following criteria. What are that criteria? First one is the can it process different part styles in a non-batch mode? Yes, it is possible. Second one is, can it accept challenges in production schedule? Yes, definitely it may accept challenges in production schedule. Can it respond gracefully to equipment malfunctions and breakdowns? Yes, definitely it will respond. That is the beauty of FMS system. Can it accommodate introduction of a new part design? Yes, definitely, because we are using GT cell with the FMS. So all the answers are yes for if you want to take a flexibility test. So in this picture, this is the single manufacturing cell in which number of components are going to be manufactured on a single machine, but that single machine is having a particular tool storage system. That is different, or number of tools are there. All the tools are different in nature, means they are carrying out different operations. So this is the single manufacturing cell. Next one is the flexible manufacturing cell. The basic difference is single and flexible manufacturing cell is that here you can use the number of workstations. That is in this picture, 3 CNC machines are there for carrying out the particular operations on a component. So this is the flexible manufacturing cell. So what are the FMS components? Basic components are nothing but your workstation, material handling and storage system, computer control system. In addition to this, the people are required to managing all these components. So that is important in FMS. So and FMS computer functions are nothing but the workstation control. That is each and every station require controls, usually computerized. And second one is distribution of control instructions to workstations. So how you are going to distribute the control instruction? That is central intelligence required to coordinate processing at individual stations. Next one is the production control, that is production mix, machine scheduling, and other planning functions. Fourth is the traffic control, that is the management of primary handling system to move parts between the 2 workstation or number of workstations. Then fifth one is the shuttle control, coordination of secondary handling system with primary handling system. Whatever you are going to use handling system, it means it is with or it can be integrated with your previous primary handling system. That is nothing but the shuttle control. Workpiece monitoring, that is monitoring the status of each part in the system. You have to monitor, or it can be monitor each and every part in each and every workstation. So that is the FMS computer function. Seventh one is tool control. So tool location is there and also tool life monitoring is there. So keeping the track of each tool in the system. That system have to take track of each and every tool, whatever included in this system, whatever included in that particularly pocket system. Okay, and tool life monitoring. Suppose we are carrying out number of operations on a particular component or number of components. So there may be a possibility of wear and tear on tools. So that system, that computer functions, is going to monitor the usage of each cutting tool and determine when replace the worn tool. Suppose some FMS systems are having undone, means it is having a 3 light system. So sometimes there may be a red light blinks. So whenever there is a chances of replacement of tool, it will blink it. Then that is the signal is given by the computers. Performance monitoring and reporting, that is availability, utilization, production, piece count, etc. You can count the number of piece, whatever utilization, whatever availability is there, you can monitor it. Then diagnostic malfunction causes and recommend repairs also. That is the beauty again. So these are the some of the FMS computer functions that will be automatically carried out with the help of computers. So what are the duties performed by a human labor in this FMS system? Basically, these duties are the duties of that type of worker who is working on the FMS cell. That is loading and unloading parts from the system, changing and setting cutting tools. That system will give alert regarding that you have to change the tool, cutting tool. Then the worker is going to replace that particular tool. Okay. Then maintenance and repair activities. Then programming, NC part programming. Programming and operating the computer system, overall management of the system. So these all activities carried out by a human labor, in particularly FMS system. The general benefits of the FMS for a particular factory, that is increased machine utilization, fewer machines required, reduction in factory floor space, greater responsiveness to the change, because it is flexible. So that's why the system or the cell gives the greater responsiveness. Reduce inventory requirements, so lower manufacturing lead time, higher productivity, then opportunity for unattended production, that is machines run overnight, lights out operations. Okay, so these are some of the benefits of FMS. Now, so nowadays, the computer plays a very important role in Industry 4.0. It is the current scenario of this industry. So in this scenario, the Industry 4.0, that is modern computer-based technologies are there. Then artificial intelligence, then machine learning, deep learning, digital manufacturing, and smart manufacturing. Some other techniques are there, that is cloud-based manufacturing, IoTs. These may also help in the current, useful in current scenario of manufacturing industry. So regarding Industry 4.0, I think yesterday some of the industry person have taken this topic. I have seen it in your schedule. So I'm not going to talk more about Industry 4.0. Basically, it is nothing but the fourth industrial revolution. Represents a new technological model where digital systems, internet, conventional industry will merge together and leading to a transformation of a manufacturing system. So all these advanced technologies are nowadays used in this fourth revolution, and it is a set of emerging technologies that allow hardware and devices to communicate autonomously to each other along the production networks. and it leads to the creation of the smart factories where computer-driven system will control production processes, create virtual copies of physical product, context, processes, in order to make decisions based on the self-organization mechanism. So I think this is the industry evolution from industry 1.0 to industry 4.0. Some people are talking about that industry 5.0 that I have told you that is cloud-based manufacturing, IoTs. So basically, this industrial evolution has started from 1784, that is industry 1.0. Mechanical production, water and steam powered machines are were used for carrying out the production activities. In industry 2.0, that is in 1870, the electric powered assembly lines were prepared for carrying out the operation. Some mass production activities were carried out at that time, that is in industry 2.0 evolution. Then after that, in 1969, some of the automation principles came into the picture, that industries were using that type of automation principles for carrying out the manufacturing or for carrying out the production activity. That is, they were using automation, computers and electronics devices for carrying out the production activities or for controlling the production activity. So that is the industry 3.0 evolution. Then nowadays, that is from last 10 years, we can say that the industry 4.0 came into the picture. And in this industry 4.0, cyber physical systems are involved, Internet of Things, smart technologies are there. So this is the beauty of industry 4.0, and now there's many industries are working on industry 4.0 evolution. So, so what are the pillars of industry 4.0? That is nothing but your cyber security, cloud computing. You can store the data in clouds. You can operate the number of workstations. Those are located in different locations. That is the possible in industry 4.0. Mobile technologies, you can use it for in this industry 4.0 evolution. Machine to machine learning, then 3D printing, it is having a major role, and it is having a very too much supportive role in industry 4.0. That is, you can manufacture the prototype batch, or you can manufacture a pilot product with the help of 3D printing, whatever dimensions are there. That I think you all heard the 3D printing concepts. Small 3D printing machines are also available nowadays in market. So, and lot of manufacturers are there in India. Those are manufacturing 3D printing machines for industry as well as for academic purposes. So advanced robotics, then big data analytics, Internet of Things, RFID technology, that is radio frequency identification technologies are there, cognitive computing. So these are the basic pillars of industry 4.0. Next one is the artificial intelligence. Nowadays, it is having a boom. I think, first of all, I will tell you what I mean by AI. The study of the modeling of a human mental functions by computer programs. I am again repeating the words. The study of the modeling of a human mental functions by computer programs. I think on the television sets, you have seen that Hyundai advertisement is there. Now they are going to manufacture their vehicles on the base of AI technologies. So in that case, those who are driving in the vehicle, saying like that, I am feeling cold. So he or she is speaking like that, please raise the temperature. So that technology, that sometimes it may be controlled automatically also. That some sensors are analyzing or detecting your body of a temperature, and it will automatically change the inner environment of that particular car. So that is the beauty of AI. The AI is the science of making an intelligent machine. It will take the decisions, whatever with the help of this technology. So this is the nowadays AI is composed of two words, that is artificial and intelligence. Anything which is not natural and created by human is artificial. So intelligence means ability to understand, reason, plan, act, etc. So we can say that any code, tag, or algorithm that enable machine to mimic, develop, or demonstrate the human cognition or behavior is artificial intelligence. And this term was proposed in 1956. So scientists or researchers were working from 1956 on AI. So how it is going to work? That is how artificial intelligence works. That is, if basically they need a data, and this data is nothing but the structured or unstructured data. That is videos and all that things. And this is a big data. Data can be stored. Then after that, that data will be processed, and the processing data will be forwarded to the actionable insights. So this data stored in database and servers, and the processes process the data using CPUs, GPUs, and all artificial intelligence algorithms to detect whatever patterns are there, and the predictive signals are generated for the action. So this is the basic how artificial intelligence is working. So, an artificial intelligence in manufacturing nowadays, most of the industries from UK and US side, they are using AI in manufacturing also. So it is now making its way into the manufacturing. It will perform manufacturing, quality control, shorten design time, and reduce materials waste also. That is, there are 7 types of waste are there in industry. That all these waste will be controlled with the help of this AI system, improve production reuse, perform predictive maintenance also, and many more activities are there. So nowadays AI is popular in manufacturing industry also. Now next is the machine learning. So machine learning is the nothing but the application of artificial intelligence, and that provides systems the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. So in this figure, you can see in traditional programming, so data and programs should be provided to the computer, then we'll get the output. But in machine learning, data and output are there in the computer, and computer will generate the program. So that is nothing but the machine learning. How machine is going to be learned and will give the provide the program for further activities. So machine learning focuses on the development of computer programs that can access data and use it learn for themselves also. So that is a very good thing that computer learns it also that programs. And the process of learning begins with observation of data, that is direct experience also or instruction in order to look for pattern in data and make better decisions in the future based and examples that we are going to provide. So that is related to machine learning. And the 2 types of data is there, that is structured data versus unstructured data. And regarding structured data, that can be displayed in rows and columns and the rotational databases. And regarding unstructured data, it cannot be displayed in rows, columns, and relational databases. Number of in structured data, numbers, dates, and strings are there. In unstructured data, images, audio, videos, word processing file, emails, and spreadsheets are there. It can be processed for further applications. Estimated that is 20% of enterprise data, and here estimated 80% of enterprise data. In structured data required less storage. So definitely unstructured data, a lot of supporting files are required. So it need a big storage system. So it required more storage. Then structured data is easier to manage and protect with legacy solutions. So more and unstructured data more difficult to manage and protect with legacy solution. Sometimes hacker may sometimes hacker may hack the data from the unstructured data also. So keep the system safe. That is the basic responsibility. Those are using this machine learning system in the manufacturing as well as for their functions. So next one is the deep learning. It is the advanced version of machine learning. Having a part of a broader family of machine learning methods based on ANN, that is artificial neural network system. It is inspired by the functionality of the brain cells, and it is called as neurons, and which lead to the concept of an artificial neural network. So again, I am appealing the academicians. Lot of research is there in deep learning, that is artificial neural network system for particular operation for a particular system. So a lot of research is remaining in this area also. So the common applications of AI, ML, and DL, that is artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, and industrial automations. Now, considerably in the recent year, many manufacturing organizations are following these techniques. So AI helps allow machines to gather and extract data, acknowledge patterns, learn and adapt the new things or environment through machine intelligence, learning, and speech recognition. So using these techniques, manufacturer will be able to create rapid data, determine decisions, facilitate enhanced production outcomes, advanced process effectiveness is there, minimize operational costs, facilitate superior scalability, then facilitate product development. Now next is the smart manufacturing. So basically, it is a broad category of a manufacturing that employs computer integrated manufacturing, high level of adaptability, rapid design changes. Whenever customer need a changes in design, then it may be possible in smart manufacturing, digital information technologies there, and more flexible in technical workforce training. So the other goals sometimes include fast changes in the production system or production level based on the demand, optimization of the supply chain management, efficient production, and recyclability. So it is possible in smart manufacturing, and some of the prominent enablers in the current market scenario include AI, that is artificial intelligence, IoT, Internet of Things, robotics, condition monitoring, and cyber security. So next is the digital manufacturing. So basically it is the use of an integrated computer-based system comprised of simulation, 3D visualization, analytics, and collaboration tools, which is going to be used for creation of product and manufacturing process definition simultaneously. So it covers all the things in digital manufacturing, and it involves from manufacturing initiatives such as design for manufacturability, that is DFM, SIM, computer integrated manufacturing, FMS, as well as lean manufacturing, that highlight the need for collaborative product and process design. I mean, if you are going it for consideration of the lean manufacturing with all these technologies, then it is having a very good beauty that lean manufacturing system is having number of tools for smoother production, for improvement of productivity, less rejections. All the things are going to be covered in this digital manufacturing, and it can be broken into three dimensions, that is product life cycle, smart factory, and value chain management. So advanced value chain management, the supply chain management techniques are there, which deals with the value chain management also. So the product life cycle basically start with the engineering, design, definition, and follows through the sourcing, production, and service life that we all are familiar with it. So digital data for each step includes every incorporated revision, any approved deviation from design specification, and how these are executed across this overall product life cycle. That is important. And the smart factory is all about automation. So it encompasses smart machines, sensors, and tooling to provide workers with real-time data about the process that they are executing. And value chain management focuses on the minimizing resources and accessing value at each stakeholder function along with the chain, whatever developed for a particular organization. So it results in optimal process integration, decrease inventories, better products, and enhance customer satisfaction. So these are the all the things that are going to be covered in value chain management, and it comes under the digital manufacturing. So I will show the small video regarding the FMS or the computer integrated manufacturing approach. So please see the video. This light is called as Alon. This is AGV, that is auto guided vehicle. It follows the path with the help of sensors. You can consider this as an automated storage and retrieval system of the components. So this is regarding the small computer integrated manufacturing model. I have seen such facility at IIT Kharagpur. They are having a small lab of these SIM related to SIM. So many students are working on it. I forgot the name of the guide, name of the mentor. That they are working continuously on the development of this manufacturing cell. And they are all these facilities they were developed that in-house in IIT Kharagpur. So, if possible, you can visit, you can see this type of facilities developed by academic institutions. So, I think I have almost finished my presentation. I hope I have covered the related things in my topic. Professor Hoka, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Participants, is there any question?
It is okay, sir. Hello. Ketan, sir.
Yes, sir.
Participants, do you have any?
Hello.
In aircraft manufacturing or missile manufacturing, which
Yes.
automation system can be used? Programmable or flexible?
Actually, sometimes if you are visiting our HL factory located at Nashik, nowadays they are not using any automation technique. So sometimes if you want to use the automation technique for aircraft and missile things, then you can use programmable automation also.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Any other question, participants? Okay then. So this is it. So thank you, Jagtap sir, for your valuable guidance on CIM. I hope all the participants have gained the knowledge of CIM, and of course they are having no question, no doubt. So definitely they have learned the topics of CIM in a very good manner. So on the behalf of Guru Gobind Singh Polytechnic, I thank Dr. Ketan Jagtap sir for delivering this wonderful session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. I will provide the
Thank you,
slides
sir.
to the organizers. Please go through it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
sir.
Thank you, Dagata, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Just a moment.
Good afternoon, everyone. Kindly please turn on your camera so we can take the photograph with our guest.
All the participants are requested, please turn on your camera.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, leave the meeting, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you very much. Yeah.